Well, Joe hopes exploring his own issues can help others deal with theirs. I'm so delighted to say that he joins us now. Good evening to you, Joe. So good to have you with us tonight. And what you're talking about in this documentary, it's really difficult, but you're so open, so honest, so raw about this. Just what was it like just growing up for you and your brothers in that household?
Thank you so much for having me on your show this evening. It was a really emotional journey, going back into my childhood and essentially uncovering things that, as a kid, through a traumatic childhood, just blocked it out. I suppressed those memories, and so I'm interviewing my mum and dad on camera about things. What was it like? Where did your mental health issues arise? Because at the time, I just thought my dad was an addict and my mum liked cleaning. I didn't realise just how dysfunctional and chaotic it was. But it was really emotional. But as a family, we're really vulnerable and open and honest on this documentary. And I think that's going to give a lot of people hope and a lot of inspiration to talk about their own issues and overcome it as a family.
I mean, you talk about that as well, the fact that you're interviewing your mum and dad. I mean, it's so brutally honest. And I guess you're then talking as a family, talking about real stuff. I mean, often people try and shy away from doing all those, having those important chats. I mean, that presumably was part of your journey as well.
I think there's a lot of stigma around mental health issues and also addiction. Nobody wants to say that their parents have a drug addiction or an alcohol problem. And so this is really about a conversation starter. The only reason I'm doing this, the only reason we all went on camera to share this story is because we hope and we believe that it can get other people talking and seeking out services or therapy or Narcotics Anonymous to somehow overcome these issues. Because, life isn't always what it seems, and it feels really difficult at first. And it feels you can never overcome these issues, but you can get support. There's amazing charities out there that can help you. And I really hope that more families can speak up and really overcome their issues and come through it as a stronger unit,
Saying that there's something to be said about who you are today, and that was formed by what you went through. You turned to sport as a coping mechanism, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, it really became apparent during this documentary that my dad, through his childhood trauma, he soothed himself with drugs. He self-medicated with heroin, right? My mum, her mental health and her childhood trauma manifested in excessive cleaning and eating disorders. And for me, luckily, I had PE and sport and fitness because I used to push myself so physically to the point of exhaustion because I had to release those feelings, and it saved my life. But that really helped me because I went down a positive direction. And now I have that understanding and that empathy to help others. And that's what PE with Joe is about. It's what the school tours are about. And it's what this documentary is about. And I really hope that anyone that's watching can tune in and take something from this documentary because it's really powerful and it's going to help a lot of people.
Well, it sounds like it is. And also important to think about is you're a father yourself. So you've got two kids. You've got one on the way, I believe. Is that right?
That's right. I've got a 3-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy and a little baby on the way, yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I mean, just tell me, has this whole experience changed the way that you talk to your own children?
100%. It's made me want to be a better parent. It's made me want to be stable because as a kid, my life was always upside down. Like my dad was there, then he'd relapse, and then my whole world got turned upside down. And I was always anxious and really upset by that. I wanted stability. So for me as a parent now, I want to be there. I want to be there when things are tough. I want to be emotionally available for my kids. And I'm learning, because my default setting really is to shout and scream and swear like I experience. But I'm trying to really change that and be more understanding. And I'm learning to be better every day I'm with my kids.
And Joe, you got your MBE earlier this year. What's your advice to children out there who might be struggling? What's your advice to reach the similar heights that you've reached?
Well, look, my parents, my mum and dad suffered a lot, and people on the estate used to say that my mum was a bad mum and that my dad was a junkie and we would amount to nothing. And here we are, 20 years later or 25 years later, and we're collecting an MBE because we've channeled that experience. We've turned that experience into a positive thing. And together we've reached so many. And I love what I do and I love helping people. And so believe that change can happen, that whatever you think about your physical or mental health today and your experience, it will change and you can get through it. And that's the most important message, I think.
Well, we're not going to miss it. It sounds fantastic. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Facing My Childhood on tonight, BBC One, 9 o'clock. We'll be watching it. Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you so much. Take care.